we are back.
Oh, this is Weeknights, and the vibes are right. Oh, yes, it's Weeknights. So what a night.
All right. There you go, folks. A little ditty to start the show on this snowstormy Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
I will be running out of here soon because I gotta travel in this weather. So
hmm
we're gonna cut to it we're gonna get to it quick tonight. But first, a few things. Let's start with introductions. We already established this is Weeknights. Thanks for the tune. And who are you?
I'm Dash, aka the King of R&B, aka Dashing D.
Hey! Look at that.
Well,
Took it
Usher
back from
son.
Usher.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
he's, like I said, he's still, he still holds the title.
Right.
But
But you playing, but you claiming it.
but I claim it. I claim it because I can. So I will, you know?
Why not? Why not?
Exactly.
And that's actually one of the themes of today's show. I can, so I will.
Yes, it is.
And we'll
Yes,
get to
in
that in
fact, it
just
is.
right. And we'll get to that in just a second. But first, I am JD, aka He Who Pods, and I would like to point out this is one of my favorite scenes in Lion King, but this is not directed at my lovely co-host. Just for the
Oh,
viewers
thank
to,
you.
I don't want them to think I'm calling you an idiot. I just feel like in the world I'm surrounded by idiots. Not
Yep.
not just, this is not a shot at you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you
And
clarifying
this is
that.
a great scene in the movie, so
I
why
mean,
not?
of all the Lion King shirts you could have on, that's definitely a great one. So
Yeah.
I support this.
I thought it was fitting. I plan on wearing it to work too.
That's funny. Now that is funny.
Yeah, I gotta let them know. Hey,
Yeah.
right here. This is what you said right here. Right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I understand.
so I can, so I will,
Said Beyonce.
said Beyonce.
Yep. It's time for Act 2 of Renaissance,
Yep. And apparently it's coming out very soon.
March 29th,
Just around the corner.
just around the river bend.
To quote another Disney movie.
Exactly. Since
For
I
those who
figured,
don't know, that's Pocahontas.
yes, I was just going with the theme for
Why
today
not?
since I don't have on my Disney garb.
You gotta get you a Disney shirt, you know what I mean? Maybe we
I
get you
know.
a Pocahontas shirt for next pod.
I do.
Express shipping. No, I'm just kidding.
So Beyonce said, you know what? I'm from Texas.
That's right.
You know, I can get down with the Cowboys.
Yep. And the
I've been,
cowgirls.
I've been to the rodeo.
Yep.
I like a little country music.
In fact,
So much so, I'm gonna make a country album.
I'm gonna make a country album.
She has already. She has already charted.
Wait. First, we gotta tell them what
Okay,
happened.
I'm just
Slow,
sorry. I'm
slow
excited.
it down.
I'm excited. I don't even
Slow it
like country
down.
music, but I just love when the black girls.
Slow it down.
Ugh, you know how that gets me. I just love it when black girls shock everybody
Yes.
and do the thing. I'm just like, oh yes, okay, all right. How do I support? So
Well, Beyonce put out a commercial announcing Renaissance 2. It's being called Act 2, and it comes out on 3/29. Also,
okay.
yes.
I was gonna say, can we acknowledge the lead up to the commercial? Because it wasn't just the one commercial.
Oh yeah, the break the internet Verizon thing, right?
So Verizon has been connected to this, I guess, since the last couple of weeks. People started to see once Super Bowl campaigns started in the past week, people started to notice things. So I didn't notice it first. I can't take credit for it. I don't know his name, the actor that played in the commercial with her. But he was on the show Veep. And I
Oh, okay.
think Veep is significant because Veep is also what Verizon's new streaming service will be called.
Uh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so there was some significance there. But if you saw all of the commercials that led up to the big night, there was some sort of Beyonce reference in each commercial. There was one where he was next to a silver horse. There was one where
Ah,
he had he was surrounded by a bunch of lemonade, a bunch of lemons, and then he was talking about how she told him something about squeezing the lemons, but he didn't say who
okay.
she was.
Okay.
So she wasn't in any of those, and I think there was a third one that I can't remember right now. She wasn't in any of those commercials, but of course, the Beehive. As soon as the Beehive saw the silver horse, they were
They
like,
do.
"What Beyonce doing? Because
Right.
Beyonce got to be a part of this." So I thought it was a cool rollout, using somebody who has nothing to do with Beyonce, as far as we know, to kind of, throw people off. But the Beehive can't be thrown off. I'm
Oh,
convinced
no.
because they knew.
They
And
stay
then
ready.
what? They stay ready. And once the one with the lemons came out, I was like, oh, the Beehive is right. They know what they're talking about. You can't mess with them.
Yeah. Yeah. So not only that, not
Mm-hmm.
only was there a Super Bowl commercial of Beyonce paired up with Verizon, quote unquote, trying to break the internet. By the way, in that, BI was my favorite. The Beyonce AI
Oh
was
yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite. That was cute.
that was
Uh,
cute.
but then Beyonce dropped not one, but two
Two,
songs.
16 carriages and Texas Hold'em.
Yep.
Did you listen to them?
I heard both of them. And I got to be honest, I had not. So when I heard the song, uh,
16 carriages. That was the first one that came out.
which one doesn't really sound country?
I think it's 16 carriages.
Okay.
Texas
So what?
Texas Hold'em is pretty on the nose.
Okay, so then that's the one. So I heard 16 carriages, and I had not seen the Super Bowl commercial yet. Her commercial for the album. But then I saw the commercial and was like, oh, so I guess it is a country album. Because, I mean, listen, Beyonce can do a lot of things, right? She's someone we
Mhm.
know can cross genres and do different things. So hearing that song, I was like, oh, maybe it's just, country leaning, single, whatever. But then I saw the commercial and was like, oh, so they're right. We are going to get a country music Beyonce album. And then I heard Texas Hold'em and was like, yo, I'm going to a
Oh yeah, it's
hoedown.
coming.
I
Yeah,
need to
it's
go to a
coming.
hoedown. I need to be like elbow and elbow with somebody. You know what I mean? I need to be
Right,
where's the
right,
where's the hay at?
right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Get the hay. Let's rent out a barn. Who got the barn? We need
Not
to
who
go
got
to
the
a good
barn.
old fashioned hoedown. And
That
then
sounds
my
like fun.
following thought was, and I
What?
know now I might be ODing, so if I am, you could tell me and I'll calm down. But once I knew, okay, it is for certain that Beyonce is making a country album, and once I got past wanting to go to a hoedown,
Once you got past it, you don't want to go anymore.
I'm saying once that moment, once I was like,
The
all right, yeah,
feeling, the rush that you got,
right,
the
right.
hold
Once
down.
that rush died down a bit and the track was over, I sat for a second and I thought, I think I know what happened here.
You think you know what happened? Tell me. I need to know
Think
what
I know
happened.
what
Tell me
happened
and the
here.
people what happened.
I think Beyonce said to herself, y'all gonna keep comparing me to Taylor Swift?
Let's do it.
Y'all not gonna stop comparing me to Taylor Swift. You're gonna do it on when we go on tour. You're gonna do it at the Grammys. You're gonna do it when our movies come out. You even gonna do it when the Super Bowl nonsense happens and Shannon Sharp wanna say that I don't move the needle the same way. All right, fine. I've had enough of the internet, the media, and the Swifties. Beehive, let's go do it. Let's go to war with the
Let's go to
Swifties.
war.
Let's go to
Now,
war with the Swifties. I
now,
think this is Beyonce saying enough is enough. All right, listen. Like you said, she from Texas. She know the vibes. And we know, like I said, Beyonce has range. So you know
yeah,
what?
and I
Now
like Texas Hold'em.
I'm going to win Grammy of the Year. Now I'm going to move Taylor Swift down. And
Coming
now,
for that CMA. She coming for that CMA, bitches. Okay?
yo, I didn't even think about that.
She is
If
coming for the
Beyonce,
CMAs. And if Beyonce is not, let me tell you something. Okay, now can I say it? Now can I say she's currently charted on the Apple Music country charts? She is number 1 and number 2.
love it.
First black woman to do it. All right, come on,
Holler.
Apple.
Now it's okay this time. We celebrated Beyonce. Do it again. Do it again. Put the
No,
two up. Put the two up. Come on.
no,
My phone don't do it.
it might
No,
not
your
do it
phone don't
again.
want to do it
Oh,
either. Oh, there you
there
go.
you go.
Yeah.
Those are balloons for Beyonce.
Balloons for Beyonce. That should be the name of the episode. But we got other stuff to
Yes,
talk about.
but she is charted at number 1 and number 2 right now. So play. First of all, I think yes. I think what you're saying in theory is a nice idea that she's going to war with the Swifties. I think this has nothing to do with that, but I think what you're saying is the icing on the cake of what she was already preparing to do. Um, Her mother posted. I don't know if she was talking about 16 Carriages or Texas Hold'em. Her mother posted that she's been waiting for this song to come out for years. So, Mama Tina, Miss Tina
Uh,
always gonna tell us the truth about the music and about everything else. And she was like, actually, just so y'all know, she been working on this country stuff for a long time. She's just ready now. That's basically
and I did
that's
that.
what I read. That's
Well,
how
it
I
also
read it.
makes sense, right? Because Renaissance came out, what, 2021?
Yeah. And
I'm going to
that
look
was
it up right
Act
now.
One.
But
We knew when
right.
Renaissance came out that there would be more. There was Renaissance was Act One we were
Right.
getting
She
at
said
the
it. She
time.
announced it. Yeah.
Right. So I think there's supposed to be what, 3 acts, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
would think so. And
So
I'm going to hypothesize right now that the third one will also be a completely different genre.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I agree
Oh,
with you.
Renaissance came out in 2022. It came out
But the end
July
of the year,
28th, 2022.
so earlier than I thought it did.
Well, I thought it was late. I thought it was early. But
I thought it was
yeah,
late in the
so,
year.
well, I thought it was
Um,
2021. So I'm wrong.
okay.
But
Good for her.
yes,
And
yes.
show them. You know what? Listen, y'all want to fuck around. Y'all don't want to give me album of the year. Y'all don't want to acknowledge certain things. And again, we must say we know that Beyonce gets awarded. Like we're not. That's not the question here. But there's a thing about doing things and then doing things to spite people. And I just feel like the more the years go by, the more I think this woman is being slighted. And I don't know
Okay.
exactly why, but fuck them. Come out with a country album. You cross over now, right? Taylor crossed over to pop. You cross
I
over
mean,
to
she kind of
country.
always, Taylor has kind of been pop for a long time. It's
She's
not a
been
new
pop for a
thing.
long time, but she crossed over from country. She was true country when she started.
Sure. But
So
she's got range too.
yeah, I'm not questioning her range at all. What I'm saying is she was able to cross over. Why can't Beyonce cross over to the other
And
direction?
it's already accomplished as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, she's on the charts
Breaking records.
already. It's just out the gate. So good for her. And
I love it.
listen, I want more. I don't even like country music, but give me more. Show me what you
Right.
got. Make me
Listen,
like country music.
if Beyonce got 16 more hold down songs, I'm all
You
for it.
ready?
I'm gonna
You
be
ready? Okay.
yeah. Be right there at the hoedown. You know what I'm saying?
We gonna have to like plan a weeknights hoedown. You
We
know,
might have to. You know what I'm saying? Might
get the
have to
people
plan
to
a
come
weeknights
out,
hoedown. You know what I'm saying? Got to get me a hat.
do
I
a
have to
little
get me
hoedown,
a
yeah,
proper
in our
hat.
cowboy hats and our
I'm gonna have
boots.
to find me a proper cowboy hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm into it. I'm into it. We should totally once the album comes out, we should totally look into that.
329. You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, listen, she. I also think that's a beautiful thing that maybe a genre that some people like, some people are familiar with, some people in the culture. I mean, but to bring it to the culture in a way that we want to digest it, I think is
Well,
pretty
she did
fun.
the dance album. That was the first one. Now she's doing the
Yeah,
country album. I don't know what the next one will be, but this is great. This is Beyonce truly showing her range
her range.
and truly her skill set, because each one of those genres requires a lot of different things. Now, I do have one thing I'll have to say, and this is really not
Uh
about Beyonce. This is about the Grammys and the award people.
oh.
If they start putting this country album up for R&B album of the
I
year,
know. I knew you were gonna say
pop
that.
song of the year, eh, rap song of the year, like I don't want to see a repeat of what happened with Renaissance. With Renaissance, they had R&B awards and R&B, and it was like, this is not an R&B album. We know this is a clearly dance hall, not dance hall, excuse me, dance album.
Yeah.
Don't do that again, please, because then I gotta come up here and hate on the Beyonce category nominations, and I don't want to do that because truly, it's not about Beyonce. It's about y'all and the way you are nominating Beyonce.
Right.
So I hope they don't do that again because honestly, that's gonna piss me off again. And then I'll feel like
I understand. Oh,
points to shirt
I
for
realize
those
that's
who
what
are
you're
listening, not
doing.
watching. And then I'll feel like I'm surrounded by idiots again.
I understand that. That is a concern. I think it's inevitable that that's going to happen.
Yeah, but it shouldn't though.
I understand. We've
Because that's
definitely
why
talked
those
about it.
genres that's why they have those awards set by genre, right?
Yeah.
If you have a gospel section, then
Hmm.
whoever's doing gospel music, they got to get in the gospel section. Now, I understand if there's some cross genre music, right? Like if on this country album there's a song that's clearly an R&B song, then okay, fine, put that one for R&B song of the year, no problem. But that's not what they did with Renaissance Part 1.
Well, let's talk about it because we have two songs that we can talk about, right? So for 16 Carriages, you said that you didn't know that it was a country song when you first heard it. Where would you put that? What category would you put it in if it was award season now and the
Oh,
song
in
did
country.
really well? You would put
Yeah,
it
in
under
country.
country?
Yeah.
But what if you never found out it was country? Where would you put it?
I don't know. Maybe a new category. Maybe in what's the shit scissor one? Um Progressive
Contemporary?
R&B. I don't know. Or
Tired of.
alternative. I don't know. Or do make up a new award like they did with the African Performance Award.
Yeah.
I just
Whoever.
feel like, listen, we got to have it one way or the other, which is what I've been saying for a while now. If
Mhm.
it's a dance album, then it got to be in the dance category. If it's a, because that's their whole thing. Their whole thing is we have categories for a reason. Then
Mhm.
put people in the proper categories.
Right.
That's my thing. Because if not, it's just idiotic and doesn't make sense. What do we have categories for if you're gonna put people in categories they don't belong in?
Yeah.
And
No.
by they, I don't even mean the person. I mean the body of work that you're nominating. If you're gonna say uh spoken word, right? If you say, hey, there's a spoken word Grammy,
Mhm.
then don't put a song or a thing there that like, because you got to put the song or the book or the album or whatever in that space. That nomination, I'm saying that if you're gonna have nominations based on categories, then make
Mhm.
sure that they're based on categories. I don't ever think it makes sense. Like, I do hip hop music. I don't know why. I'm probably never going to be nominated for a Grammy, but let's just say I am. Why would my hip hop song be nominated as Gospel Song of the Year?
Okay, so we've had this conversation before, and I guess the difference of opinion that you and I have when
Mhm.
it comes to this is that I think that a song could be a part of two genres. I think
Sure.
that I think that certain songs have crossover appeal. I
Yes.
think that's why I brought up 16 Carriages, because I do think that if you hear it outside of what you know, you could potentially put it in multiple genres.
Sure.
And as such, I think it's okay when music crosses genres. Now, what I do agree with is when we're talking about a full body of work, when we're talking about an album, should it be R&B album of the year, or should it be R&B best R&B album, or should it be best country album? It should be best country album if the album is predominantly country,
Yeah, I
right?
agree with
I
that. Yeah.
agree with that, but I think when we're talking about a Lucy, we're talking about a single, or I don't know what else they give categories for, music videos or whatever it is. I think that's when you can get a little bit more granular about it. But I do think that I do think that there are songs that and granular wasn't the right word, but I do think there are songs that do that and they
But
function
that's
in
not what they
different.
were doing. I agree with that. But the problem is that's not what they were doing with the Renaissance album. The Renaissance, there's no R&B on the Renaissance album.
Right, it was dance music, and I agreed with you back then when we
Yeah,
listened
so
to it
that's
and
what I'm saying.
we
If
spoke
Beyonce has
about
a
it.
song, go ahead.
So I don't think you're wrong in wanting them to acknowledge those categories. Especially like I said, especially when you're talking about an album specifically, I think it's really hard to put an album in multiple places. I think you got to make a decision
Okay.
with a whole album. You got to be able to look at it as a, because an album is being looked at as a whole body of work. It's not being looked at as one song here, two songs there. If that were the case, then yeah, you could parcel it out and you could say, well, these are R&B songs and those are country songs, and hey, she threw in a dance one over here. But I think um, when you break it down and you're talking about the singles and things like that, then yes, you can kind of you can make the argument for some songs that they cross genres. So I totally get it. I don't think that Renaissance was an R&B album, and that's fine that Renaissance wasn't an R&B album. But yes, it does get a little weird when the awards, um, the people who vote end up voting it into, or however it lands on the roster.
Yeah, and it's what it
It
does
doesn't.
is it takes away from people who truly belong in that category,
I
right?
agree
So
with that.
if Beyonce's putting out a country album, but you put one of the songs, let's just say 16, what is it? 16 what?
Carriages.
So if you put 16 Carriages as R&B song of the year, then you
Hmm.
take away from someone else who belongs in that category.
Right.
Someone else who
I agree
belongs
with
in
that.
that slot of R&B song of the year now has no chance. They don't even have a nomination because the Grammys chose to put Beyonce there when she doesn't belong there. I want that for Beyonce, but what I don't want is for the awards to snub other people just so they can put Beyonce in more categories. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But again, it's not really about Beyonce. It's about the Grammys and the awards who are doing this.
Yeah. You're right. I guess we'll see. There's an album
Yes.
coming out.
That's like the number one. We should make merch that says, I guess we'll see. That's like the number one thing we say here.
Yeah. I like that. Put it on a shirt.
Yeah, we got to put it on the shirt. I guess we'll
Put
see. Dot, dot,
put it
dot.
on a crew neck for me. but
We'll work on that.
but yeah, we will see because the album is coming out at the end of March, and then before we know it, it'll be Grammy season again next
Yep.
year. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yes, we will. Now,
Hmm.
speaking of C, I see that this is a weird topic, but I see that Tyrese put out.
That
All right, this is
nigga.
a little weird, but Tyrese put out a post
Yeah.
saying that his Super Bowl plans were effed because of a power outage. So he's gonna get at him. And then he said that him and his lady
Zelly.
broke up off some bullshit,
That's what he
which
said.
was which was that she was upset that there were too many songs about his ex on his upcoming album.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw that. I thought this was an interesting one, especially since one half of us makes music. So,
That would be me. It
yeah,
is odd.
yeah. So I figured, you'd probably have something to say about this.
It's challenging being in a relationship and making music that is introspective or very
Mm-hmm.
personal. I've been there before. I have been in arguments with significant others before because of music that I've put out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it it's challenging. I think anyone who dates an artist has to understand certain things, um, especially with the type. And you got to know the type of artist you're dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you date someone who makes drill music, you know, excuse me, there's certain kind of music they're putting out,
Mm-hmm.
and then your life will be affected by such, right? Same thing. If you date an R&B singer, right? For example, Usher's wife knows Usher's gonna be hugging on other women. Usher's gonna be shirtless. There's certain things that Usher's gonna do. She has to understand that.
Congratulations to Usher, by the way. Usher just got married in the last 24 hours, or
That's
in the
fine.
last 48 to 72 hours, I should say.
He got married a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
the license was filed on the 8th, I think. So,
So Usher's wife has to understand those things. The same is true of Tyrese, significant other.
okay.
Wait. Oh, I thought he was about to jump in.
No, I said okay. I leaned in to
Oh, okay.
listen.
Yeah. Now, once you leaned in, I thought something was coming. So I was like, wait,
No,
hold
I
on,
had
hold on,
questions,
hold on, hold
but
on.
I'm yeah, I have questions, but I'm waiting.
So, um, that's number one. Number two, let's get a little deeper into who is Tyrese. Tyrese is an R&B singer. R&B singers often sing about love, sex,
Loss
exes,
of love. Yeah.
loss of love. This is kind of
Mhm.
normal for an R&B act. Now,
And
to be
his
honest,
relationship didn't end that long ago, if I'm not mistaken.
right, he hasn't put out an album since.
Yeah.
So that's not unnatural. Now,
No.
I do think also, and then I have another, I'm going to show the other side of the coin. I'm going to speak as from the artist perspective because I know I'm talking a lot about the significant other. I want to be fair here. I do think also you have to be able to communicate with your ex, not your ex, excuse me, with your significant other who's the
Hmm.
artist, right? And let them know, hey, I know what you do. There's some things I may not be comfortable with. Can we discuss them, right? Because you might not like everything. And then the last thing I'm gonna say is we haven't heard Tyrese album yet. We don't know specifically that he's talking about his ex. A lot of times when people make music,
Didn't he? But didn't he say? Didn't his
well,
statement
he
say?
ended the post with saying, "What the fuck does that even mean?" And that's what makes me say this last part
Okay.
because sometimes when we listen to music, we interpret it as one thing ourselves, right?
Hmm.
Like I can make a song today about a past relationship. You don't
Hmm.
know when that past relationship was.
Hmm.
You only know what I'm saying on the song, right?
Okay.
So unless I said You know, I was about to put the phone up. I don't know why, but unless I say on the mic, back in 2016, blah blah blah, and you don't really know when this ex is from. I could be speaking about my ex from high school. I could be speaking about a little bit of every ex and putting it together to sound like one song. Artists do stuff like this.
But okay, you're
I'm
not
gonna get
done.
to Tyrese in a second. Yeah, I'm gonna get to
Go
Tyrese.
ahead.
You have a
Because
question about that part? Go ahead.
well, because I'm just thinking if someone puts identifiable details in their music, and identifiable maybe not by the masses, but identifiable by the person you are with,
Hmm.
then I would think that it is open up to question, right? Because I'm assuming not everybody is vague. And I don't know, like you said, we don't know
Yeah, some of us are more specific than others.
what
Yes.
what Tyrese says on his album. We haven't heard it yet. But I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm not saying that I agree, disagree, or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, what if the music Tyrese is making is very specific to and unique to his relationship with his ex-wife, and that's clear to his current partner because she knows the story.
Okay.
I'm just asking because I think that could exist too, right? Like if she
Absolutely.
is aware of what happened in his past, then and he starts going into specific details about it, then perhaps that raises a an eyebrow when
Sure.
she hears it. And I don't, again, not agreeing or disagreeing, just kind of throwing that out there
And
as
that's a valid question.
a possibility.
Yeah, that's a valid question. But then there's discussions that need to happen if that makes you uncomfortable. And my question would be, well, why does it make you uncomfortable? She's no longer here.
Hmm.
I would imagine some of these songs are about you and our current love. So, what's too many? How many songs am I allowed to make about my last relationship when my fans haven't had music about it? I think there's a lot of gray area,
Hmm.
which leads me to the artist.
Yeah.
As an artist, you need to be clear when you communicate with your current partner. Hey, this is what I'm about to do. I'm about to go at such and such. Even if it's a beef, right? Like you don't want to be
Mhm.
in Walmart and get snuffed by a random person. Why'd you get snuffed? Oh, because your man keep making music about my man. Oh man, he didn't even tell me he was doing that. He just dropped a single dissing Dash. Why would he do that, right? Giving different examples on purpose. Now, I think as an artist, there's a few things you have to consider. Number one, the partner you're picking. This is very important. The
Mhm.
partner you're picking has to be able to deal with whatever it is that you do for a living,
Mhm.
right? If I'm with someone who has to work for 48 hours straight every week, for 48 hours straight, they're gone. They don't exist in the world. They're at their firehouse job. I got to deal with that. I can't be mad at them. Yeah, but why you got to be at the firehouse for 48 hours though? You can't like leave after 30. It sucks that we can't sleep in the same bed together every night. I got to know this is what is going on. As the
Okay.
person in the firehouse job, you can't be with just anybody. I'm sorry.
I agree with that.
You
That
have
is
to make
absolutely
sure
true.
the person you pick is okay with this. It goes no different for the R&B acts who are trying to be sex symbols and shirtless with six packs,
No,
dancing
it's
on
different.
women, hugging them like this at the Super Bowl.
It's different.
It's the same thing.
It's not the
You
same
have to
thing.
be able, it's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing, and here's why. Here's why. Your
I'm saying as
firehouse.
the artist, I'm talking about the artist side.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying as an artist, you have to be able to pick a significant other who's cool with the things you have going on. Again, Usher's woman, Usher gotta be with a if Usher's with a woman who don't want
I
him
agree with that.
dancing
Absolutely.
shirtless and hugging on women at the Super Bowl, if he go home and gotta deal with an argument about why you hugging that bitch at the Super Bowl though? Why you ain't have me on
Yeah,
stage
that to
so
me
you can
that's
hug me?
that's silly, and I agree with you that
But
if
so
it,
Usher
you
has to pick
people
a
you can't.
person. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you can't. I agree. You can't be with someone who has a high profile lifestyle, someone who is a man who's fawned on by women and men and whoever a
Whoever.
lot, or a man who, like I said yesterday, plays it up for the sake of the performance.
Right.
No, it's not gonna be. When we're talking about that, also making music about experiences that they've had. Yes, you have to be able to accept that. I just wonder. Is there ever a time, and maybe this is what this woman is thinking, I don't know, and I'm just asking questions because I think that there are multiple sides to this. And that's why I said I'm not giving a real opinion, because I agree with you about that. I think you have to have a tough skin when you're with someone like that. And I think you have to be able to separate what's real and what's not. But that was going to be my next question. Is real and what's not real always separated? And I wonder if Tyrese had a very, I didn't know much about his wife, but he was very public about his breakup. He was
Yep.
very, very public about being torn up about his breakup. He was
Yep.
very public about wanting to get back together with his wife. So that makes me wonder
I
if
thought the
there is
wife
a
wanted to
world.
get back with him, but he didn't want to get back with the wife. Am I getting confused?
I thought he wanted to get back with the wife, and the wife didn't want to get
Is that
back with
not the
him.
ex that recently came out and was talking about how she regrets it and wants to be back with Tyrese?
She said that?
Yeah, I think unless it's too. See, this is why I don't do the gossip stuff because I get lost.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
even know. Point.
but
Go
even
ahead. The
if that
point is, it
happened
was all very
now,
public.
I'm talking about what happened then, and I was under the, because I remember him saying, "Oh, he's trying to get his girl back." Like, he was very public about that. Maybe I'm wrong, and I could look into it. But that being said, if that is how the story went, at least up to that point, and you get with this man, and he seems okay, but then he starts working on an album, and he seems like he's not over it. Because even with people who don't make music, you could run into a situation where you get with somebody who seems like they're over something, even though they're not. And then
Sure.
later on and deeper into the relationship, you realize that, oh shit, this person is not over their ex. So I wonder if that's where it comes from. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe she's just, listen, she hasn't been with the man very long. He's working on music now, and again, this is something that you kind of have to either be akin to already, or you have to learn how to be okay with it, or just be okay with it. And perhaps this is new territory for their relationship, but I just wonder, as public as he was about the way he was with, and there's also that element too, where it's like, is she thinking, wow, he was so public about that. He's pretty public about me and him, and now he's about to come on with this album. Am I going to be embarrassed by this? And again, you got to be able to eat that. But my biggest thing is Tyrese really over his ex-wife? I don't know. I don't know. But I wonder if that's part of this, that's a piece of this conversation that might be missing.
Well, that's why I wanted to get on the artist side too, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the onus is going to be seemingly on her, but I think the artist has some responsibilities as well. I
Mm-hmm.
think you got to communicate with your person and say, "Hey, listen, this is what I'm about to do."
Mm-hmm.
Usher got a wife; he got to let his wife know, "Hey, Alicia Keys gonna be on the stage. I'm gonna be hugging on Alicia Keys.
Right.
I got to keep it real." Does your person need to know every finite, minute detail? No. Oh, we got to wrap up. No. But there has to be communication. As
Mm-hmm.
an artist, you also need to have a level of discernment. You need to know, hey, I'm with someone. I need to think about what I'm going to say on this music that's
Right.
coming out. Yes, my fans have an expectation. Yes, there are things that I want to speak about, But you got
Mm-hmm.
to know your person and say, is making this music going to destroy my relationship? One. Two, how much do I care about it ruining my relationship? Right? I could make a song that has nothing to do with relationships, but maybe I make a political record, right? If I make a political record that now got people marching outside the house,
Yeah.
people are now with picket signs
Mm-hmm.
outside, and you got to come home every day to people throwing stuff at you, that might break our relationship. I don't know. But I got to think about that, and how much do I care? Am I that passionate about what I want to say as an artist
Mm-hmm.
that I say to myself, if my relationship falters because of it, oh well. You got to ask yourself those questions as an artist, because it's not just about breakups and details. It could be something totally different. It could be, like I said, let's use the example of the drill artist. If a drill artist is saying on every song, yo, it's on site, it's on site. Well, you got to be ready for the fact that, hey, stuff is
It's
going to
on
happen.
site. Yep.
It's on site. So if you're the artist, you got to think about your significant other. You saying as the artist, it's on site. When I see Mufasa, it's on. Well, now you got to think about what happens to your lady if your lady see Mufasa, because
Right.
Mufasa might slap the taste out your lady's mouth. And you got to ask yourself, hey, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying when you do certain things as an artist, there are repercussions, there are consequences, and there will be a reaction from the public. You got to be ready for that, but you also have to consider, how does this affect my family, my significant other, etc. If I
Agree.
make a song that says, man, I love buying pussy, man, I love sex workers, they're great, that's all I want to do for the rest of my life, and I go make the sex workers anthem, yeah, my teenage daughter might be affected by that. Yes, it's possible. Yeah, my teenage daughter might be affected by the I buy pussy anthem. Yes. By the way, my new album is in stores. Buy the pussy. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
All
Just
right.
kidding. But
Okay.
those are the things, I'm being silly, but those are the things you have to consider. If you have a significant other, as the artist, you also have to consider these things. You might even want to
Agree.
play it for them. Hey, listen, I'm about to
Well,
drop the I Buy Pussy anthem, boo. Listen to this real quick.
that's what it sounds like happened. It sounds like he played it for her. She was like, "But how many times did you reference that bitch?" Because
But then the other thing is, you got to think about your fans' expectations. As an artist, especially Tyrese ain't a small artist. He may not be Usher. He's not up here. He's not Usher, but he's not a nobody. Tyrese has a reputation. He has a core fan base. His fans are expecting certain things. He got to feed his fans, because how else the bills get paid? It ain't always Fast and Furious. He got to
right.
be able to make music, tour, etc.
I want to make something very clear.
Go
Okay,
ahead, and then we out.
and then we out. I want to make something very clear. I know I let you, take on this topic because you are, you're an artist. But I also want to make the point that I am the king of R&B. And if I got to do it for the music, I will do it for the music. And I stand there on both sides. Now, I also think, like you said, in the same vein of you have to be careful who you choose as a partner. I think that goes on both sides. And I think you need to be able to trust that the person you're with is creating a safe environment for you. If they're not, then, you know, feel free to leave. But
Right.
if they are creating a safe space for you, they're creating a safe environment where you can talk about it, where you can address it, where you already knew the things in the music, so it's not that strange to you, or at the very least, if you didn't know, there was an open and honest conversation following listening to the music. I think that there is a way to handle certain things. I think some people go too far, don't get me wrong. And that's why I asked the questions that I asked, because I think that some people are still in their feelings, probably. we're humans. Sometimes we don't get over. We think we're over something, and then we have a cathartic process like writing music or something like that, and it could bring up things that were living underneath the surface. So
But sometimes it's not even that though, D. Sometimes you just hear a beat as the artist. I could be not thinking about any exes, but I can hear a beat that makes me feel like, oh, this is the song to talk about an ex. Now I'm gonna just think about it. All right, what can I say about an ex?
and I understand that, and I'm
Whether
not
that's
negating
whether
that.
that's I still love you, whether that's I want to be with you, or whether it's yo fuck that bitch.
I'm not negating that. I'm saying I think both of those things exist. I think there
Okay.
are people who probably have those moments where they're still fucked up about what happened. And fucked up to the point where they shouldn't actually be in a relationship with another person. But I think because that's just human nature. Sometimes that's just the way life goes. I don't think that's everybody's situation. I don't think every time an artist makes a song about a past relationship they had, it's because they're pining over that person. Let me make
Yeah.
myself clear. That's not what I think. I
Okay.
I just think that, and what I was trying to say is that you also, as the person on the other side, not the artist, have to know your person just as much as they have to know you. You
Yeah.
have to know them well enough, or at least we hope, because sometimes people find out years later that they really didn't know the person they were with. But let's assume, for
That is
argument's
that is
sake,
sadly true.
yeah, let's assume for argument's sake that there are healthy relationships in existence, and that some people can actually exist in that type of world with each other where they're honest and they're open and they have conversations, or at the very least they are secure enough in that relationship that they don't ever have to think that this could be more than just a song. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Every relationship is not perfect and every person is not perfect. So,
I mean, no person is perfect.
of course, right. And I should have said that differently, but no person is perfect, and so it could be a number of things, and we don't really know what happened between Tyrese and this woman. And honestly, Tyrese has done and said some things that make me question a lot of what Tyrese says and does today. So we could be having this whole conversation and she could be right as rain.
Or this could be a genius ass rollout
Roll out. I knew you
and
were
they're
going to say
still
it.
together.
I am
A
surprised that it took.
fly ass rollout that we just spent like 30 minutes discussing, and then he come back and say, my new single is Baby Please Come Back. And then says, hey, we back together, y'all. Album dropping on Friday. Celebrate our love with me.
I don't know how you made it through 30 minutes before you said that,
I
because
mean,
I
I
was
was just
very
trying to give both
surprised.
sides of the conversation.
No, and I appreciate that, but I just think it's funny because the moment you started to say it, I was like, I know exactly what you're about to say.
Could just be a rollout.
It
I
just be a
start thinking
rollout.
about
You're right.
rollouts for my next project. You know what I'm
You
saying?
got to.
Because people got fly rollouts. I gotta
They
start thinking
do.
about some fly rollouts.
They do. Well,
And I
y'all
gotta
let us
start
know
getting the
what
hell out of here.
I know. So y'all let us know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all think Tyrese is full of shit, or not? Or what do you? If you're an artist, let us know what you think. If you're not an artist but you've been with one, let us know what you think. Or maybe neither of those things are true and you just have an opinion. Please put it in the comments and let us know.
Please do. And we will see y'all tomorrow night.
Bye.